Good evening, folks, and welcome to Homegrown Sounds. Folks, I am honored to have Rick Epperly of Santa Fe, a phenomenal talent. He plays harpsichord. Now, there's a story I have to share with you real quick. Like, James Williams, our associate producer, says, I know how much you love classical music, and there's a guy by the name of Rick Epperly who plays the harpsichord. Now, my brain stopped at harp. So I meet Rick, and I go to his house, and after introductions are made, I'm looking around, and I'm looking for a harp. So after a little chit-chat, Rick finally says, here's the harpsichord. So could I have turned beet red at that time? You would have seen it because I was so embarrassed. So that's my human story for this morning. Folks, allow me to introduce Rick Epperly, classical musician, playing the harpsichord. Thank you.
Last piece in this section is a prelude that Bach wrote, which comes from 12 little preludes. Prelude in C major. Very grandiose indeed.
Rick.
Yes.
What a wonderful treat.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's absolutely my honor.
Thank you.
Listen, Rick, I heard the last one you gave us the title of, or the piece, but could you tell us about the other three pieces you played prior
yes,
to that,
forgive me,
please?
I've overlooked that. The first one was a Scarlatti Sonata in C minor, K011, and the next one was Scarlatti Sonata in C major, K159, that's in C major, and the last was Sonata in F minor, K519, and then the Bach Prelude from 12 Little Preludes.
Now, Rick, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Could you please share with us how you became interested in music?
It was because of music boxes. One day I went to an amusement park, and I frankly didn't find it as amusing as I'd hoped. I was rather bored. And from that point, I went into a place that had an antique music box exhibit. Well, it wasn't long before that boredom left me, I can assure you. I heard the first few notes of the comb ringing and the cylinder and the pins, and my heart just leaped to the top. I just wanted more of that sound. I didn't want to leave that place. I'll tell you what, I didn't want to leave it. You couldn't pay me to leave it. And then I wanted more of it. Well,
what happened next?
I decided that when I went home that I would take my small music box, and since it was such a dinky little thing, and I didn't really think it was that great, after hearing those big ones, I thought, I'm going to plant this thing in the ground. After all, trees grow big. Why not music boxes? So I dug a hole. Wood. Yeah, I thought it would. And so I put it in the ground, watered it, hoping it would grow. You know what?
It didn't grow.
It didn't grow. What a surprise. But actually, that's not really true, because I didn't know, but I became an arranger for music boxes today, and I'm making larger music boxes because of that experience.
So you're even working with music boxes even today, now?
Yes, I do. I'm working for a internet business, bettermusicboxes.com. I arrange for them. It's a company on the internet that I arrange for.
Fantastic. What else sparked your interest in music?
Well, my first music teacher, unbeknownst to him, was Winston Sharples. Now, what's important about Winston Sharples is that he composed the music for Felix the Cat and Casper the Friendly Ghost, and all those cartoons. And that music that he wrote is highly emotional.
Emotional?
Emotional
How so?
indeed. Why? Because, you see, the Felix is leaving his house. He's trying to get a job, and he's thinking, oh, the world's fine. Suddenly the professor turns around. Where do you think you're going, Felix? So, you want a job? Well, come over to my house. I'll give you a job. And the cat follows him, and all of a sudden there's Rock Bottom, his helper, and he puts a bucket over his head and traps him. Aha! Felix, you're trapped now. And the music became frantic, like, what am I going to do? You know.
Suspense.
Yeah, very highly emotional, like, oh, now I'm in trouble, help me, help me. But as soon as Felix gets out of the situation with his magic bag of tricks, then he gets away. And the professor, oh, I'm defeated again. I lost the cat. I can't get that magic bag of tricks. Darn. Darn. And, you know, he's very upset about the whole thing. Not Felix. He's happy. All right, that's the emotion behind that.
Okay, when did you start your formal training?
I never stopped. No.
Was that on cue?
Yeah, that's right. I had a piano teacher who taught me how to work with the piano. I was 11 years old, and I learned Braille music, how to read Braille. She taught me, and that worked out pretty well.
And what happened next?
Oh, what happened next is glorious. I went to a pipe organ recital, a gorgeous pipe organ recital, and there was a teacher named Marvel Jensen, and she quickly became my teacher. She wanted me right away as a student. I played a couple pieces for her, and she says, I want to have you up here next year. Next semester, we're going to have you in here. I want to start working with you. And boy, that was one of the biggest points of my whole entire life. It was great. We worked together, and she taught me.
So what was the biggest contribution to your craft in regards to this music teacher?
Well, she taught me interpretation of the organ, how to set the organ up, how to interpret pieces. That is, to slow down, to speed up, when to slow down, when to pause, when to talk clearly so people can understand what I'm saying. No, but it was wonderful.
Did you learn by ear, or do you learn by ear still?
No, I learned by Braille. I never learned by ear because it's much too difficult to sit there and be dependent upon someone else. Oh, there was one time when Marvel and I had an experience where she was teaching me a Bach piece, and she said, do you hear this music? I said, yes, I do. And then we came to this one huge dynamic chord that just captures your heart when you hear it. And she says, do you hear that? I said, yes. And then she said, play it again. So I played that section that she just taught me. And I'm not kidding you. She and I and her would actually scream. We'd say, oh, ew, that sounds magnificent. You know, and here I'm just coming unglued because the emotion is so intense. And it was a wonderful experience.
So is it easier to read with Braille as you're reading, say, a book, or as opposed to music, or are they both comparable in some way?
Well, unfortunately, the Braille system, it comes from an antiquated past, and they had about 7 different methods of writing Braille music, not just one method like you all in print do. And unfortunately for me, the people never tell me what method they're using, so I have to learn all these 7 methods and decipher which method they're using. And each, except for one, is not good. But I've got a special program right now from Dancing Dots. The computer has software in it which enables me to implement the score into the computer through Lime, and then the computer prints out a tremendously good copy that's really legible to read and that is a lot more standard, a lot more like I'd like to see it. So I can correct and clean up this music.
So has modern technology made things easier for you?
Oh, much. And then you may wonder how it works because I put it on a Braille display. There's little rods in this display that pushes the cell up where I can read with my fingertip, and I go straight across and read it. And that's how I can memorize all these musical pieces.
You compose music also.
I do indeed. I have a piece that I'd like to play now from the excerpt of a suite of mine in G major. I originally wrote this piece for a harpsichord, but I've done it on organ as well. And it seems to work very well that way, too.
Okay. Now, that was my cue when you said I want to play this piece, so I'm going to peel on out of here and enjoy the rest of the music. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Rick Epperly.
These are the 4 pieces, the Prelude, the Minuet, the Air, and then the Jig.
Okay. Oh, we are very honored. And before we go, folks, I like for Rick to touch on the design and how these music boxes are made. You brought them with you today.
Yes, I did. And it is very simple. It has a spring and a cylinder and a comb and a heartbreaker. No. It broke my heart when I first heard it. So much that I had to get in the whole business. I wanted to keep working with them.
So how can folks, you make these?
Yes, in a way.
In a way. The internal parts, you design the music.
I designed the music.
Composed the music.
I got a place in the world, other place out of the states that make the movement.
Okay.
And then I tell them what I want them to do, and then they do it. This plays 3 German tunes.
May we hear it?
Yeah.
Please. And where can we purchase these?
At our website, bettermusicboxes.com.
Bettermusicboxes.com, folks. Oh, that is beautiful.
See what I
Absolutely
mean?
Beautiful.
Yes.
And this is one of your personal
This is my first
compositions?
arrangement, yes. This is the very first one that I arranged. There's been about 17 others outside of that.
And what is that?
Oh, Susanna.
Of that one?
Oh, Susanna.
Wow.
And the next one in Gaudeamus Igitur, Brahms used that in his symphony, his first symphony.
Fantastic. Folks, let's give a hand for Rick Epperly here of Santa Fe. Phenomenal talent. Classical musician. Folks, my special thanks goes out to SFCTV, my homegrown crew, Annie, James, Elise, and Ashley, and our studio audience. You've been fantastic today. If you would like to appear on Homegrown Sounds, you can reach us at marcus@homegrownsounds.org. We urge you to blow the cobwebs out your harmonica, tune up them guitars, dust off that keyboard, and tell them Marcus sent you. Thanks for tuning in to Homegrown. Thank you.
That's wonderful.